All right, welcome back to Tats and Gats podcast. We are in our season 2 premiere. We're very excited. We've got an amazing guest today. But first, we got to thank our sponsors, which is ourselves plus a very new sponsor that we are excited to announce, and that is Rifle Supply. Here in Huntington Beach, all your firearms needs, hit up Rifle Supply. And even if you're not in the Orange County, Southern California area, you can buy stuff online. Have it shipped to your FFL. And we are sponsored by Inked In Tools, booking software for tattoo artists, and
RKB Tactical for all your gun needs, merch, and training. Come train with us.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of that new intro?
Pretty rad. We see QB'd this whole building.
We did. Yeah, we see QB'd in. We had to take the stair theme up to a new level. Next season, I don't know. We're gonna skydive into the studio.
I think you're gonna tattoo me at the range, and then we're gonna get up and shoot. We're gonna do something
fast rope in from the roof, bro.
There we go.
Yeah. We need some help.
Help,
awesome. Lee, do you want to introduce our guest today?
Yeah, this is Taylor Cavanaugh. If any of you guys are sleeping under a fucking rock, you should see him blowing up and find him on social media like I did over the holidays driving to work. I was like, YouTube. I was like, whoa, what's this? I was like, Legionnaire. I was like, cool. I was like, let's watch this. But I jumped in on like episode 4. I was like, I'm gonna rewind this. Dude, and then I watched everything.
Yeah.
It was rad.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, and we are recording from the Cars and Coffee event at Rifle Supply today. So if you hear a little music, little cars in the background, that's what's going on.
Hopefully some rad cars.
Yeah. So what's been going on?
Dude, back in the United States, man, and loving it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's been epic, bro.
For the guests that or listeners that don't know you, do you mind giving us a brief bio, intro, a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Little 30,000 foot overview. Was in the SEAL teams for 7 years at SEAL Team 7, and wasn't as locked on as I should be, and ended up getting kicked out for performance enhancing drugs. And so I took a general discharge, got out, worked in the civilian world for a little while, stacking bad habits. If guys know, that transition was difficult on me. Successful from the outside, right? In the high rise, pitching decks and doing that stuff. But like, dude, Adderall, Xanax, alcohol, weed, all the stuff every day. It's fentanyl at night, man. And you can't bend reality that long doing these shit. So my world kind of came crashing down, and I had to have that hard come to Jesus reset. And so I thought, and I always knew about the French Foreign Legion as like my look red, grab red. And I did. I looked red and I grabbed red, and I went to France and joined the French Foreign Legion, and I became the only Navy SEAL French Foreign Legionnaire ever on record.
Rad. How long ago was that?
That was 2019 when I joined, October, and I just got out in December.
Awesome. So for those that don't know, can you tell us a little bit about the French Foreign Legion?
Yes. A unique institution, to say the least.
Yeah.
People may have heard of it and whatever, and the kind of the lore of it is interesting, the mystery of it, because really there's no other institution like it. It's about 200 years old, comprised of only foreigners, started by an old king to get foreigners who were in bars causing problems from a previous war back onto the battlefield, fighting for France with no political issues, with people French coming back in body bags for, using them as cannon fodder. And they gave them the carrot as French citizenship. It was modeled after the old Roman legions. Okay. So they would serve 17 years and get Roman citizenship. Similar. It was similar in that structure. And so you go, there's no application. You just go knock on the door 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. You can go knock on one of the 2 doors. There's some satellite spots, but really there's 2 pre-selection centers with a bag, and you hand over your passport. And if you are successful, you won't see that passport for 3 years. That's the earliest. 2.5, 3 years.
So you literally knock on a door.
It's like the Wizard of Oz, man.
No,
you knock on the door to the dude with a hatch, man. He goes, slides it open. It's that serious. Yeah, pretty much. He's like, they just wait for you. And I had Googled, je suis ici pour la Legion. I'm here for the Legion. And he goes, okay, and opened the door. And that was that, man. I gave him my passport, and I did not see that passport for 3 years, and pretty much get on the pull-up bar.
Yeah, so once they open the door, what is that selection process like?
Yeah,
is there I'm sure there's
that's actually a good question. They funnel you in. The first thing they do, I mean, I went in on a Sunday night at like 9:00. And even then, the first thing they do, pull up bar. That was the first thing.
How many
And
you got to do?
I think it's like probably like 6 dead hangs, but I mean, I did like 20. But
Yeah.
it's pretty much whoever's there. You know, he might do 4 and he tells you to jump off, or, you know, they might tell you to do 10. Not good. Okay, keep going. So it depends what mood the guy's in. And then you go in the immediate IQ test. 5 questions, very basic. You know, like you're not splitting the atom on this thing.
What's like the minimum IQ? Right?
I mean, well, I don't know. It was pretty much, you know, a very basic math question, like a algebra question, and, you know, a shape question. It was some very basic stuff. They check your bag, they give you what you can. You're still in civilian clothes. You don't change out and stuff. This is pre-selection.
Okay.
And so then there's medical checks, psychological evaluation, initial one. Why are you here?
Why are you-
You know, who are you?
Like,
Those are like the 2 big questions. And then a real basic fitness test. And that's 1 week. And then you go to a selection, a formal selection, which is the Gestapo interviews. I mean, they heavy
fucking drill.
dose interrogations, psychological evaluations, another round of IQ, another round of fitness, another round of medical.
Okay.
And that's a month long.
Okay. And what are some of the things they're looking for? Like, because based on, you said, you know, you had gotten out of the SEALs.
Yeah.
So you had, you know, some past.
Yeah.
Do they have certain disqualifiers? Are they
Oh,
just
yeah.
making sure you're squared away? Do they care, like, you know, because I recently, I guess I haven't talked about it on the podcast
Yeah.
yet, but cat's out of the bag. I recently went through a process to apply for law enforcement,
Okay.
and I didn't make it past the polygraph.
Yeah.
My man.
So
Amazing.
yeah, I'm curious what's their disqualifier. I'm sure it's not the same as law enforcement. They seem to be, you know, care about a lot.
Yeah.
What are their things?
The major issues are Interpol issues, no international drugs trafficking or arms trafficking. That was like the first one because they do run your name through Interpol. Then they don't want any guys running from war crimes, which is they were hit on me hard. Like, why is the Navy SEAL here?
Yeah.
So they don't want problems with the United States government, stuff like that.
They don't want that smoke.
They don't want that smoke because they've had it in the past, right?
Sure.
With guys, you know, Interpol coming to the gates and being like, hey, we want this guy. And actually, the Legion's protected guys. Just so, yeah, they've protected guys, but they don't like doing it.
Yeah.
And sex crimes, right?
Yeah.
Any sex crimes are going to be no go. And also, there's like 2 countries that you can't join from. I think if it's not, don't correct me if I'm wrong, it might be Cuba. It might have been, it might have lifted though, obviously because of the political issues, and like North Korea. Those are the 2.
Yeah.
If you're from there,
Sure.
they won't really let you in. But I think that might be changed, you know, with this regard to Cuba, because, you know, the political situation's changed.
Do they base off country where you're born at, or where you're like your family?
Your
from?
citizenship.
Okay.
Yeah, so wherever your passport's from, that's and other than that, the medical disqualifiers are actually pretty heavy. I
Okay.
mean, 1 out of 15 guys is going to get picked for selection.
Okay.
And selection is just selection. Then you go to boot camp. You still got to pass all that. So you still got to do all that stuff. But the selection is just, I mean, they're going off your teeth. So us in the West, we don't really have problems because
Yeah.
our teeth are pretty decent. But I mean, you got guys coming out of holes in like the dark
Yeah.
forest of Russia who just haven't been to dentists and stuff. And then legs and feet, right? If your legs are kind of weird or you're flat feet, it's a
Is that
no-go.
a real thing? Because I'm flat, like as
No,
a
you're
piece
not,
of
they
paper.
make
you're not that flat. Like I got homies, bro. You can like they wear shoes. You can see how flat their feet are.
No shit.
But like a lot of dudes like prior service, like their feet get fucked up.
Yeah, you can be pretty. So
Huh.
they make you. It's real. They make you stand on a piece of glass that has a camera under it.
Gnarly.
Yeah, it's not even like they just kind of scope it. I mean, you stand, and some guys who they'll let their feet kind of pronate, and so it's really stand like an athlete.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Okay. Interesting.
Unless you're blessed, like my family, we have like McDonald's golden arches. Like,
I got the high arch too. You got the high arch too.
zone, or like I got a sliver on the right,
Yeah,
like
dude.
on the sides of my feet, like
Yeah,
so
like
lucky.
that. You got to mind the gap,
It's like,
dude.
damn, bro, but it's
Man.
brutal. Because I bring that up about like country of origin because I work for the DoD. I work right here at the naval base in Seal Beach, loading naval ships.
Oh, really?
That's what I do all day.
Okay.
And when I got my initial clearance, they were like, "What's this Russian background?" I was like, "Well, that's where my family's from. Like, everybody's from a different country at some point."
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
mine was like
Like,
recent.
what's
you know what
this? You're not American. You're like, no one's American.
Yeah,
You're
nobody's
Native
American.
American.
I was like,
Yeah.
not every white person's from Ireland, like they say. I was like, I'm fucking, you know what I mean? They're like, well, what's this? I was like, well, I have like some famous family that
Yeah.
are in Russia, like
Yeah.
big doctors, like used to be like private physicians to the Tsar of
Yeah.
Russia. I saw people over there, like some got wiped out
Yeah.
during this conflict
Okay.
going on, so it's pretty gnarly.
Wow.
They're like, where are you going? I was like, just smoked by some drone in some
Yeah.
shithole. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, straight up, dude.
I was like, what? You can apply online if you want.
Dude, that whole conflict was big in the Legion because 10% of the Foreign Legion is Ukrainians.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So when that all kicked off, bro, it was substantial. I mean, it was like political stuff and going back. We can get
Yeah, I
into
was
that
like,
later, but yeah, it was heavy.
They're like, we're leaving.
Yeah, I was curious. So they were in the Legion before that kicked off,
Yeah.
and then are they allowed to leave and go?
So some guys just left,
Okay.
obviously, but the French also said, hey, you guys can go recuperate your family and bring them to France.
Oh, that's
So that was a pretty cool hookup.
Yeah.
And they also said, okay, you guys can go for 2 weeks and come back. And obviously, you got responsibilities, man. You got to go handle your business at your country. I get it.
So now that it's like set and over, like me and my brother were planning on taking all of our gear to Poland and going down.
Yeah.
Because with my clearance, that's a whole fucking no-fly zone for us. But
Yeah.
we're gonna go get grandma.
Oh, yeah.
But she got smoked.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
They just came through like down south in Ukraine, just leveled the town, and
Damn, that's heavy.
that was a wrap. But I actually got it from, I don't know if you know Forward Observations. I don't know if you know those dudes.
Okay.
They did like a fucking map on how to get your gear over, what paperwork you need.
Oh, yeah.
Go into Poland, jam down
Man, that's
south.
good information.
It's fucking wild. So a lot of people went over there because pretty much you go over there, like your American citizenship or like your clearance, it's a wrap here.
Yeah.
If they find out.
Yeah, the clearance for sure.
Damn.
I was like, well,
Yeah, we had some guys go over there.
I was like, I'm gonna piss away this career that I have going on right now with the government. So
Yeah.
Are there any other countries that do something similar to that, or is France?
They
kinda
had a
unique in
Spanish
that?
one. They have a Spanish or had a Spanish, and you had to be from like some type of Spanish speaking origin country.
Okay.
So you had guys from El Salvador and Nicaragua and stuff like that, but it was in Spain.
Oh, cool.
So that was the only other one. Man, I looked because we'll get into the story, but I had looked after the Legion for like, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
Nothing. It doesn't exist.
I remember you saying you were thinking about going to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Look, I went down the rabbit hole. I got sucked into it. I was like, oh, fucking alerts, YouTube. I was like, cool, let's watch this today.
Yeah.
Like I got sucked into the story. I was like, dude, it's fucking so rad. I was sending it to him, dude, fucking watch this. This dude is rad, dude. This is so gnarly.
Yeah, I still got some FaceTimes from dudes who are out there, Belarusians fighting against Russia. Guys I was in the Legion with, bro. It's heavy, dude. Their brothers are dying and stuff, dude. I mean, they're taking heavies.
Yeah, that war seems
It's
to be
real.
But it's wild, man, because it's like the same people fighting each other.
Yeah, isn't that everywhere?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So on the podcast, obviously, Tats and Gats, we cover like tattoos and
Love the name, by the way, bro.
Thanks.
Anybody who doesn't like that name, bro, I got news for you. You're not cool.
Hey, you hear that?
You heard that.
Tats and Gats, bro. I heard that. I was like, man, that's catchy, bro.
But we tend to lean more heavier on the firearm training,
Yeah.
that aspect. So I'm curious, as someone that just got out of that experience with the Foreign Legion and a Navy SEAL background, obviously a very educated in that training world. What are some things that you see are underrated in the training, or stuff that people pass up that they should focus on, or maybe stuff they focus on that they don't need to?
Wow, that's such a good question. No, it's because I was thinking about all this stuff kind of on the ride here, and people focus too much on speed when they should just be focusing on fundamentals.
Yeah.
Always. And I actually saw this a lot in the Legion too. Guys, they would really be, not a lot of guys have a ton of experience in the Foreign Legion. They do. I mean, they're guys coming from some military backgrounds, but some with none.
Yeah.
I'm coming from being a SEAL where we're sending, millions of dollars around rounds downrange. So like my weapons manipulation was solid, but they'd be taking guys at pistols, doing draws, and then teaching them burst firing and laying on the ground and shooting before they can even draw and shoot correctly. That's one thing that I think people should focus on. Man, smooth is fast, right? They always say that smooth is fast. It is so true, man. Focus on smooth trigger pull, smooth, everything smooth and slow, man. When I go to the range and shoot, man, I shoot slow, man, whole day. I won't even shoot fast anytime, most of the time, because I always feel like I'm not good enough fundamentally. I always still think, I'm like, man, that draw was terrible, right? And that trigger pull with squeeze was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm slapping the trigger. I'm so hard on myself on the small stuff that I almost I'll run out of time before I start trying to shoot all cowboy.
That's how you get good, man. If we have a bad range edge, we'll beat the shit out of ourselves in fundamentals because that's what really counts. But you're coming from a combat mindset.
Yeah.
Like you're drawing to fucking actually kill somebody.
Yeah.
So shooting all that fast shit, You're probably gonna miss.
Yeah, and you only have so many rounds.
Yeah.
Right? It's not. That's the thing, man. You got everything counts, and I'm not trying to throw that first shot right on that 9-pound trigger pull or something. I'm not trying to throw that. I'm not trying to throw anything, man. Everything I want to keyhole. That's like where I try to be.
I think we're guilty of that. Like, I think a lot of the training culture that we're around it's a lot of speed, a lot of flat range stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that has its place. I think it's good, but and I've said it a million times on the podcast. Our buddy Joe, the Marsoc guy, when the first time I shot with him and watched how slow and deliberate and intentional everything was, I was like, whoa. And that's a guy that's his job.
Yeah.
So I should probably be paying attention to it.
100%.
100%. Because it's emphasis on shot placement, right? Emphasis on like real clean fundamentals. Man, there's a time and place for speed, but it's not often.
Yeah.
Not often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get that a lot. Like, hey, man, how do I get fast like you? I was like, I don't know. Like, all these years of like, I beat myself over fundamentals and dry fire in my fucking shop in my house. Like, nobody sees that. Nobody wants to see the work. They just want the highlight reel on the Instagram shit. And I'm guilty of it too, where I'll reholster too fast and my buddy will text me, yeah, that's fast, but what the fuck you putting your gun away for type of thing.
So true. When you said that earlier, man, it's so true. People try to holster fast. I'm like, why are you holstering fast? You shouldn't care how fast you holster, bro. Yeah. Also, one more thing that I know people kind of don't do correct is when they're training, they're in this like perfect, they're like, oh, I'm training for home defense. Man, I don't know if people know, but man, when you're about to shoot at somebody, your central nervous system is going haywire. So before you shoot, you should do 10 burpees, man. You should be moving, and you'll never, my favorite is you'll never ever rise to the occasion. Never. Yeah. You're going to fall back to your worst day at the range. That's you in a time when it matters. Is your worst day. So man, do like 15 burpees, then pull out of the holster and shoot. It's a much different situation. Yeah. Or, man, how often are you going to have a holster on, right? I mean, grab the gun. It's also things like that. It's like, man, if you're in the house, are you going to have your holster on? No, man. I mean, think about how you're actually going to be doing these things.
Probably not even going to have pants on.
Right. Man, just take the pants off, man. Yeah. Do 10 burpees and no pants.
The only time.
Pull the gun out under the pillow. Yeah. Man, you know what I mean? Do it for real.
The only times I've like actually pulled my gun out because my dog will alert.
Yeah.
So rare when she does. So when she does, like, oh fuck, there's really something maybe in our backyard. Usually a possum, but like
that possum's gonna get the business.
I have my Glock 19 with the light on it, and I'm in my underwear, half asleep, like.
Yeah.
And you're right. People think it's going to be this dream scenario where it's like, all right, cool. I'm going to put my belt on, probably get my plate carrier on too, and my helmet. Nods. We're going to grab the rifle. Everything's. It's like, dude, that's
also
never going to
be dark,
happen.
Right? It's also going to be dark. Think about shooting through iron sights in the dark. Right? Yeah. There's so many things that
we don't shoot irons around here.
Yeah. I mean, but maybe you have a laser on your gun or whatever you go, a red dot or whatever you got, man. It's do it. Try to do it for real.
Yeah. One question we like to ask is a time that you felt out of your comfort zone, either in a class for like the instructor side of things, or for tattooers. And there's a lot of times where like when you're starting out, you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So for you, I'm sure that question looks a lot differently, but in some of your training and some of your background, maybe a time that you felt. Just like over your skis or
all the time. Yeah. Man, I always tell guys, man, if you feel comfortable and like you know what you're doing, dude, you ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
Ever, man. And so that's in a leadership position. But for me, bro, dude, I suck at running. Dude, my running, I'm like just as good you can be to be a Navy SEAL. When I was going through a selection, they would give me shit. The instructors would be like, and this was when I was a civilian in depth. They'd go, hey, if you're behind Cavanaugh on this run, you're going to fail. They're like, if you're in front of him, you're going to pass. Because this guy passed. I passed all my runs and buds by like 10 seconds. I mean, talking 10, 5, 4, like that. I would be like running, puking. I was always in the back on the conditioning runs. So going into the Foreign Legion, I don't know if people are aware, man, it is a run-heavy culture. Just the French military in general, it's a totally different philosophical approach of military. The United States is like, hey, load me up with, rounds. We are heavy on security, slow on speed. Man, that is not the case. And they dude, we'll hump 20 clicks in a day, bro. Just straight up, dude. No security. Dudes are just dying, right? Nobody's holding security anywhere. But that's just how they get down. And so, dude, every morning we'd be running rain or snow or sleet, man, 5, 6, 7, 12 miles. They'd have us do half marathons, no training, just like boots. Like, hey, we're running tomorrow, half marathon, full marathons, bro. No training. Back from, dude, I'm talking, that's all they do is run. I hated it. So I always felt out of my comfort zone. And I was scared to go in the Foreign Legion because of the running.
Yeah.
I was like, man, dude. But guess what? You got to walk into that fear. How many times, Alex, have you been, tattooing, or is there style or something, or business, man, setting this stuff up? Man, It's always unsure. You really don't know what you're doing. Man, that being a slave of fear, bro, is going to stop you from doing anything. A lot of people won't do things just because they want to, they're scared.
Yep.
Man, it is not the way to live, bro. You're going to maybe fail. Guess what? You might fail. And I failed commando selection in the Foreign Legion. Yeah. So we'll get into that. But man, when you're failing, you're pushing it.
Yep.
Right. And that's good failing, not like fucking up in town, getting arrested. Yeah. Right. Because there's a different way, you could fail, but positive failing is okay.
Failing at trying to achieve something good or great,
Absolutely.
And you're gonna fail.
Yes.
I always told people that want to get an apprenticeship, your first step to getting into tattooing is going to be being told no.
Yeah.
Like you're,
that's good. I like
step number one is walking into a shop and getting told no. Okay. What do you do with that? And so many people hit that step and then they're like, well, that's
not
no.
for me.
You're like, come back. Hey, fuck off, kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
well, I guess it's not in the cards.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
go,
like, dude,
I'll go work
like
at
a little
Starbucks.
bit of adversity, and it's good though. It's like I'm glad you quit at that point because you would have.
You would have never lasted.
No. So yeah,
Bro,
you're
like,
absolutely
going to
right.
your tattoo shop. Imagine if you're like a 18-year-old kid and you roll in there like, I want an apprentice, and I know all you guys in there. And you'd be like, fuck off, kid. And it was like, I'd come back.
I just had to give someone the
Did you?
the no talk.
Did they come back yet?
No, it was
Come back,
it was like a
kid.
friend
Come
of a
back.
guy that worked there, and we kind of were discussing it. It was just not the right time or place, and I felt really bad because our coworker was already telling him. It was his friend. He was already outside telling him like, "Hey, it's not going to happen." I didn't know that, and so they're like, "Alex, go tell him." So I walk out.
So
I was
you
like,
already just
"Hey,
double
man,
dipped,
it's not going to
double
happen."
blast. He's like, I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, he's like,
shake a hand when he's down.
he's like the nice asshole. Like, I love him, bro.
I walk back in. They're like, "Damn, you're mean." I was like, "You guys made me do it. I'm not bad." Dream crusher, but
You're like, hold on, Trash Olympics coming up.
Yeah, I think those failures are what make you grow. Absolutely. Like you're gonna do a like you said, a tattoo style for the first time, and it's gonna be scary. But like, what are you gonna just never do it?
Yeah.
Like, what do you? And some people, yes, that is their.
What about that first time you tattooed a dick?
Yeah.
I've never tattooed a dick. I've tattooed right above.
Oh no!
He goes, I heard a guy. He's like, man, if I got a tattoo, man, it'd be on my dick, the bigger dick. I'm like, hell yeah, man.
Yeah. I don't know how that works, but if you figure it out, let me know.
No, but dude, I had some like real fear too when just like I went to sniper school, NSW sniper school in 2012, and it was Atterbury, Indiana, is where they held this school.
Fucking Indiana.
And man, I was a new guy, which is like very rare, and I had shot, and so I was just hit a really good wave, right?
Okay.
And so there's older guys I had stepped over to kind of get there, and it was so I could not fail. I could not come back as a failure. And I went on the 300 Win Mag and the bolt action to the final test. I failed 2 tests. Well, I had failed 2 tests, and you get 3 chances on this test. And man, I was like, bro, I'm over my skis, like you said. I mean, I think I'm maybe out of my, I was close. I wasn't like failing, but I just was like, man, wasn't calling the wind right or whatever. And, I lined it up and we did it. But I was like, that was a moment where I was like, dude, I think I might be like, maybe I bit off a little more than I could chew here. But
isn't that fucking?
You rise above.
It's a fun place to be, though. If you enjoy.
Yeah, it was scary, though, because we had a bunch of
yeah.
cats from, the tip of the spear. Guys know what I'm talking about. There. Viewing it, so I had a dude with Now I won't say his call sign and stuff, but he had one leg blasted in tattoos, head to toe. Had been operating the tip of the spear with one leg, by the way, sitting behind me, going, "Bro, you better hit these." And I was like, "Oh man,
that's pressure,
I was
dude.
like,
That is pressure."
I was like, "I better hit these, man."
How many people were watching you?
Man, we had about I think we had 8 guys retesting, so I wasn't like by myself. We had 8 guys, and Man, we probably had fucking 16 guys watching.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Dude, that's pressure because we had RXRD in last December, which is like a big range day. It's like maybe 100 people or less,
Mhm.
and there's just one fucking drill that we did. That's at 25 yards with a rifle. It's up 1, reload 5, under 5 seconds, and fucking I was the last one to go. I know the instructor, right? And he
Yeah.
put me fucking dead last, so I watched everybody before me, like 40 cats, fail, throw a shot, fail, and he goes, "Hey, dude's name's Chris, Korean." Photographer dude. He's like, "Come over here, film this guy. I know him." So I have him, the instructor, filming me, a pro camera guy, like crouched down underneath me filming, and there's fucking everyone who just failed. And I'm just like, bro. Mark's like, buddy Mark, first offense, shout out Mark. He's like, all right, bro, you ready? I was like, I'm ready. Pressure. Fucking pressure, dude. It's good. And fucking just nailed it. I was like half a second under the 5 second mark.
That's what we
and
need,
everybody
man.
went fucking nuts. But like, dude, the camera guy's like, I'm reloading. He's like underneath, fucking going in. Dude.
You're like, why is he under my balls,
Dude,
man?
he
I
was
mean,
like-
We had that one guy, I forget his name, but he came out to a range day and shot footage. Remember, he wanted to lay down,
Yo, yeah.
filming up,
I was
and
like,
I was
bro,
like,
you can't shoot me underneath me.
because we were doing something where like, maybe in a transition. I was like,
you're
no,
you're
that's
gonna get
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not cool with that.
yeah. No, that's smart,
You can
man.
get a cool shot from
Trying
like
to do a low ready or
at
something,
a
dude.
45-degree angle.
Yeah,
Don't
let's
be
blade
right.
off a little bit, dude.
Yeah,
But what's rad is that at that event, I fucking studded out, and I got my invite to this big annual thing called Ohio Range Day in Ohio. So there's some instructors coming over, and there's one fucking dudes I want to train with. They're French SF dudes,
Mhm.
and they're going to be there instructing. I told the main dude, I was like, "Hey, I want to train with those guys no matter what."
Yeah.
I did him a favor, got a favor in return. I was like, "Dude, I'm training with those dudes." I'm
Dude, the
fucking
French
stoked on it.
French SF are no joke. Dude, I had worked with them in Iraq too, and when we were in the Foreign Legion, they're legit.
Yeah.
They have
These
some
dudes
para
are
guys and
fucking
stuff. It's funny because that running culture and stuff stops at their SF unit. Like you see, the dudes are pretty jacked, bro.
Yeah, they're
The
fucking-
dudes are pretty jacked. Yeah, they like you got that
like,
contingent
we're
of
not
friends.
running anywhere. We're
No,
taking a
no,
helicopter.
it's a totally different
Running
lens,
for the
bro. It's
enemy
a
at
totally
this point,
different
boys.
breed.
You touched on the commando thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to that?
Yeah, man.
Tell us
So
about that.
a lot of people don't know that the Foreign Legion has 2 commando units.
Okay.
Right. And so when I got in, I brought my DD-214. So I brought my DD-214 so they knew. Well, I wasn't like telegraphing what I was to like the instructors and shit, but they would find out. But at least the Legion leadership would know
They're like, okay, this
what
dude's
my deal
legit.
was. So when I was doing my psychological evaluation, the guy was like, hey, so I told him I wanted to go to DCM Rep, which is their parachute regiment. I didn't really want to do static line, automatic parachute stuff, but I didn't really have the chance because they said I was too big to go to this place, but they had a commando unit called GCP there.
You are big.
Right. And they were like, dude, you're too old and too big because I was 34 going through it. And I was like, okay, I'm okay with that. I said, well, what are my options? He said, because I wanted to go GCP, Group Commando Parachutiste, Parachute Commando Group, which is like their premier. I would say it's equivalent of like they're highly trained shock troops. So they're like Rangers.
Okay.
That's how I would equip. They're not SF because they're not whole. It's a different type of thing, but
Super.
they're elite. But there also is a group called GCM, Group Commando Mountain Commando Group. So I was like, all right, let's rock. He's like, I suggest you go here. It'll be faster. You'll also be able to be deployed more. And so that's what he's like, it'll take like 2 or 3 years to be able to get invited. You have to get invited to screen. I mean, I'm talking, there's like 20 dudes, not a lot. So I went there and did all my stuff. I deployed to South America, doing interdiction of gold mines. We talked about that, man, in the jungle, bro. I'm talking living in the jungle for 4 months, doing 14-day patrols and wrapping up Brazilians, doing illegal gold mining, bro. All that. They used the Foreign Legion for that down there.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude, that was wild.
Really?
So, and I was at the mountain infantry group, but we specialized in demolition. So we would go blow up fucking gold mines, man.
Is that how you got the gold?
Yeah, dude, dude. I was like, man, let's go take this pocket, just take it to the dentist, bro. You know it. And but that was an experience. But when I got back, we were training. We did some other missions. We went to Estonia.
Rad.
Right? We went to Estonia to do stuff, flex on the Russian border with NATO. And when I got back, I got invited to screen for this group. And I failed their run. Their run was fast, man.
What is it? The standard, if you remember.
So it's 37 minutes and 8 kilometer.
Jesus Christ.
And dude, it was like full, like boots, fucking at elevation, up and down hills. And I just could not make that time, bro. I mean, it was just, there was no willing my way past that time. My running days were never in front of me, but they were definitely behind me. It was, I felt like when I was on the run, dude, I remember being on the last kilometer, knew I wasn't going to make it. And I felt like Forrest Gump. I was like, I think my running days is over. I didn't run since, bro. I failed, but they invited me back, and I was going to have to sign another 5-year contract.
Okay. And
it just was not in the cards. But I felt good about it because I was like, you know what? My time here is done.
Yeah.
It was at that point.
Is that when you started filming?
Yeah. And so I was actually a year later. So it was actually a year later, and was when I kind of started going, okay, I'm going to like start rocking and rolling on this from the barracks room.
In the barracks. I was like, he's going to catch some heat for that.
Oh, dude, I took some major heat.
I know the story. I went down his rabbit hole. I was like, dude, it's fucking rad. Like his whole story is so rad.
Yeah, I took some heat for that, but it was needed, man. It was time.
Yeah. But dude, that was like I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, filming in the barracks, full Legionnaire uniform.
Yeah.
Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, I had to.
Then you just nothing but up from there.
Dude, I had to.
It was rad.
I had to, man. But I knew the heat was going to come, but I thought it was going to take a little bit longer. But
was that transition hard? Like from like the whole SF thing, Legionnaire thing, being dark on social media, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
To like not being dark and being out in the open.
Yeah, I didn't have any social media, man, for forever.
And then,
really? Yeah. So then I was like, you know what? I'll roll this thing out. And it was scary, man, because I come from a community where it's like, it's quiet professional. I get it. And you notice I don't talk a lot about like operational stuff and SEALs. I don't, that's just not kind of how I get down. I still got a lot of homies in, and serious stuff goes down. And so I got respect for that community. And France, man, loyalties to the United States always has been, always will be. I respect the French, and I was fighting for France, but if they were going to try to put me in jail for my YouTube, no fucking way. Yeah. That's just not happening, bro. It's like, so I had to, we tried to fight it with lawyers and stuff, and it just wasn't going to happen. But it was also scary to put myself out there.
Can you touch on that? Like, so that they came after you?
Yeah, it was like their NCIS called me, and their DPLE, and they, hey, enlève tout cette merde, which means take all that shit down. And I said, okay. But I was already getting a lot of emails from like veterans and stuff, because I talk about being suicidal at some point, being really low. I'm honest about where I was at on my low points. And dude, people are like, dude, I watched your video and I was going to take my life, and I decided not to. And I really appreciate it, because I've been like hundreds, bro, not just like one or two. I was like, you know what, man, I'll take the heat from this. And it wasn't all altruism. I mean, I also needed to set up my life after, right? Because I knew I could coach. I knew I could do the fitness stuff too. And I wanted to do that. So I had to kind of like prep a little bit before I just get cut loose. And well, they didn't like it. And I understand their side, because it was building, and I could say anything. So they want some control. And I understood there, but we just had irreconcilable differences. And I tried to fight it. And they said, look, you come back, we're going to give you back to back 30-day jail sentences, and then kick you out anyway. Or you can take it down. And I said, well, I'm not doing that. So I lawyer said, you're technically not a citizen. I'm not a citizen of France. I had no real legal rights. So it's actually kind of, they had the rights in the Legion to put me on Legion jail on food discipline, bro, doing yard work and stuff for 120 days and then kick me out. It wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had to make a calculated decision.
Oh, speaking of yard work, I heard that story where you're stacking stones there.
Oh, bro.
Dude.
Man,
listen to this shit.
Legion punishment. Gnarly, a lot of people don't know. The Foreign Legion, man, is a strict institution. You walk across the grass wrong, they'll put you in jail. It is very strict, and I understand why. You have criminals from all over the world, used to be, and still kind of like that. And so who all speak a different language. You don't know who they are, so they got to put the thumb on them. It's like the Marine Corps, but like tenfold, because you got a bunch of foreigners. And so some of their punishments, you'll see if you go on a Legion base, there's pyramids everywhere, stacked out of rocks. And in front of every French Foreign Legion regiment is a massive pyramid. And what that is from the guys in jail have to pick up a big rock and run like 15 kilometers every morning and then stack it. And so now in front of you have massive ones, and then scattered around the base you have littler ones that are for like guys like me. In this situation, I was not marching correctly. I don't know if people know the Legion walk, but you should Google it. It's the slowest pace of any military, but it's like a swing. It's like a swag. If you Google it, it's pretty cool looking. apparently I stick out like a sore thumb, and the colonel, bro, the base. They stand there. Their French are very pomp and circumstance. They standing like this after a run. After we just did a 12-kilometer run, so I'm in the back of this group because I was coming into the back, and he goes, "Who's that tattooed guy who's marching like mare shit?" And so he calls our company and goes, "Hey, whoever that tattooed guy was, I think it's the American." He goes, "Tell him he marched like shit, and I don't want to see it again." So that in the French Foreign Legion, the colonel's like God.
Yeah.
That came down, and so I got ripped into. I was in a push-up position for an hour in the hallway getting yelled at, and then my punishment was I had to make a pyramid out of rocks the same size as me. I'm 6 feet tall. I don't know if people know, but that's a 6-foot base. And if people don't know geometry, and there's no rocks. So there's not like rocks hanging around. So I had to go find them. And it was like a 15-minute walk to get like 3 big rocks and then 15 minutes back. It took me 3 days, 16 hours a day in the rain and the snow in December in the fucking Alps.
Wow.
But it was brutal, dude. And that was just for marching wrong, bro.
Is you proud of that pyramid though?
Yeah, I would fight every day, and if people would say, they go, "Hey, Cavanaugh, hey, regards to the pyramid, man." Like it was always like a running joke, bro.
Is it still there?
Oh yeah, it was still there in the dad, bro.
My turn.
Yeah, 3 years.
I watched that video. I watched that when I was dying. I was like, no,
dude, I had some moments on that one, bro, but I was like, they can't break me.
It's true.
I'm telling you, man. You find like a good YouTube channel like his, and on the commute, man.
Yeah.
Back and forth. I'd fucking up put that shit on.
I try to keep it entertaining, man. Man, you can put out good information, but you got to keep it fresh too, you know?
Yeah.
That's the thing, man, is mixing it up, you know? You got to mix in the good stuff and the stories. And I try to hit people with also, you know, man, we're here for progress. I mean, you guys know, man, your level of success is never going to exceed your level of self-development.
Yep.
We've all hit those points where we were stagnating. Man, it's always because our self-development's not improving. You know, our businesses stagnate, our relationships stagnate or fail. The minute as men is we're not trying to get better. I mean, dude, if you're not trying to get better, you are getting worse.
So true, man. I get comfortable I'm like with my other business.
Mm-hmm.
It's like shit just starts going good.
Then I talk.
Yeah.
And it's running itself. And it's like, oh, I can just sit back for a little bit. And the second I do that, it's like, yeah, man.
He'll tell me.
It's
going
like
fucking nuts, man. Emails aren't working. They're blowing me up. I'm trying to tattoo. Trying to edit this podcast.
Yeah, it's a lot sometimes, but I
imagine.
have to absolutely stay on it and treat it like a business, you know, and develop myself and come up with new stuff. And it sucks because you'll take a few steps forward, you know, like, oh, we'll do a whole new branding thing, a new onboarding video, new advertisement, all this stuff, right? And then that does well for a while, and it's like, and you're thinking like, that's the last time I ever have to do that.
Yeah,
it's like, nope, you're gonna have to do another one probably in 6 months.
Yeah, it's a constant. Man, you get the energy you put in, you get out.
Yeah,
right? That's what I'm learning, at least with my stuff too. Is I gotta be just on it all the time, pushing the pace, or it stagnates, man.
Consistency, man.
You have to be
consistent as fuck. I give you that.
Thanks. I have to be, man, because I realize if I'm not, man, it's like, what do I got?
I still want to try that iced coffee you drink every morning.
Oh, dude, dude,
hot coffee fucks me up. I'm so hot ball syndrome. You know,
dude, get that, dude. I mix it up with the ice. First of all, it's fast, which I like, and it's just, dude, I don't know, it hits good, man. Like the iced coffee in the morning, bro.
Brutal schedule, and like me waiting for coffee to brew.
Yeah,
gnarly.
Dude, I get it in quick. I'm up, and then it just ice. Black coffee, man. I try to mix it up.
The way to go.
I start doing like when I'm at work on base. I wake because I sleep on the base. You know? I'll just wake up, start doing push-ups. I'm like TK.
Do you sleep on the base?
I do. I sleep on a cot.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you stay out there so you don't have to commute back to Manif.
Yeah, because I work at the base during the day, and then I work in the ports in Long Beach at night.
Oh, man.
4 nights a week.
Man,
so
dude.
Like when I do sleep is like maybe 2 to 6.
So yeah, no, you keep it. Well, dude, if you're pushing the pace, man, you don't need as much sleep as you did. Man, Schwarzenegger through his whole career slept like 5 or 6 hours, bro.
Yeah.
Man, dude, you can really push the pace if you're like tapped in and not doing extracurricular other stuff that takes all our energy from us, like doing, vices and all that stuff is really where dudes get hammered. They're like, man, I can't sleep. I'm like, yeah, but you're out drinking all night and doing dumb shit. It's like, of course you're gonna feel like shit.
Oh yeah, your body definitely like adapts to it. And I'm just like, I'll go home on the weekends. I'm just like fucking up because my body's just so used to it.
So you go home on the weekends and like see the family and
I
stuff?
go home Fridays. I just have a gnarly 4-day schedule, and then
that's kind of nice though.
It's okay.
Yeah,
my kids are always like, Dad, where are you when you coming home? But like But I work at the Navy base. We just built a brand new pier. I'd say OPSEC, but their fucking social media is horrible. They announce everything like that. Well, you can drive by and see it on PC.
Yeah. I can see it right there. They're like, it's secret. I'm like, it's right there.
But they built like this big ass $1 billion pier, and we're just ramping up to just load nothing but ships.
Yeah.
Like every missile you see getting shot.
Yeah.
I probably put it in myself.
Man, that's crazy, man.
Warheads on foreheads, man. So,
yeah. No, for real, dude. They got to be pumping them out here because,
pumping, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you see, the only person getting rich is Raytheon because they make the missiles, but the rest of us, not so much. But I got into that because I got MEPS. I got denied by MEPS.
Really? For what?
Broken back. I broke my back at 17, and MEPS denied me at 18.
Man,
I tried to lie about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was a TRICARE kid.
Yeah.
I came from a naval.
Oh yeah, it was all recorded in their TRICARE.
Naval family. Grew up in San Diego. Dad's a senior chief. Like,
oh yeah.
Just fucking lived on every base down there. Like I grew up on.
How'd you break your back?
Car accident.
Oh really?
Me and my mom got rear-ended.
Oh dude.
Back broke, and I'd lied my ass off, dude. I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're a fucking TRICARE.
You didn't lie. You were being strategic.
I was
it's strategic truth.
Shooting my shot.
It's different. You were probably maybe should have been a little more strategic.
Yeah. No, I have.
What was the deal on the polygraph? What happened? See, a lot of ifs, ands, and what have yous.
I have a client who I'll keep nameless, who's in law enforcement. I have a lot of clients who are in law enforcement, and they all, you fill out that background paperwork, and it's like every question about everything you've ever done. I'll just say this: I went to art school in San Francisco for college.
Yeah. So you were smoking marijuana cigarettes allegedly.
Tried some stuff, and so I'm filling out the background paperwork. I'm so glad I can talk about this now.
Let it out, man.
Yeah. So I'm filling it out, and a client would come in, it's a cop, and like, hey, I'm doing my background paperwork. I put this, and they're like, don't put that. I'm like, well, it's not a disqualifier. They're like, dude, you put that on there, it's just going to pry open. They're going to dig. They're going to ask you a million questions about that. If it's not on your background, if it's not on paperwork, don't put it. And I'm a terrible liar.
Yeah. You're like, needles.
Yeah.
I'm like,
idiot.
That's
my friend.
And what's funny is my actual drug use is very, very small. Like, truly a little bit of experimentation, and like drugs weren't for me,
Yeah.
So it's so dumb that like that's the question that got me. And then they had me retest on just that question. And then I learned more about polygraphs and how there was questions he was asking me at the end that I could have like tensed up for and probably beaten it. But I just took it as a sign. It's not in the cards.
Yeah, they get the stabilizer. They're like, the polygraph guy's like, look, man, you've got high score. It's flashing high score. It's not supposed to.
What is the
you
chief
actually broke the polygraph.
It wasn't the chief, it was the sergeant. I'm dumb. I thought it was, I think I called him the chief at one point.
You trying to fucking promote him already, bro?
Yeah. Maybe that's why he liked me. He's like,
no, always up the grade, bro. Always a general. Yes. He's like, oh, okay. All right. This guy's all right. Man.
Yeah. But I felt like God was telling me, hey, I didn't make you for this.
Yeah.
It's cool you tried it. I didn't quit at any point. I went through as far as I could, but I'm supposed to be a tattoo artist.
Man, those guys too, man. Dude, it is a lot of time. Man, it is a tough schedule, bro. Yeah. I mean, I work with a lot of guys fitness-wise and coaching guys. Damn, their schedule's tough, bro. So, I mean, your other businesses and stuff, man, it would have been difficult.
Oh, yeah, I would have had to give up something because my wife and I talked about it, and she's like, all right, let's just be real here. You cannot have a software business, a tattoo business, a podcast, and go into law enforcement.
And the family.
And shooting and training.
Right.
It's like one of those has to go.
Man, that would have been
Don't leave me, bro. Don't leave me, bro.
Yeah, so.
But I'm on that same path, too, of law enforcement right now.
Really?
Dude, getting my tattoos removed. You want to talk about
man, dude.
fucking pain, bro?
Oh, man. So no hands allowed?
No hands or neck.
Okay.
I was pissed about this. This is my dad. This is a big ass anchor.
Yeah.
I was fucking pissed about that. Still pissed about that.
That's pretty cool, man.
You touched on what you're doing now, some of the fitness and coaching stuff. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. Well, when I was in the Foreign Legion, I realized when I was looking up other units, because I realized, man, I wasn't happy still. I was in the SEAL teams and I was like living life, but I was like, oh, there's another. I needed this like identity, this external validation was what I was seeking. And then when I got there, I realized, oh man, I'm still not happy. That's when I kind of started this looking internal, really getting my schedule good, discipline, man, like waking up, tracking my mind, just getting tight, man. Stoic philosophy. I really started to read stuff that I just hadn't been exposed to. Universal laws, actually being a good person consistently, and not it's closed doors, it doesn't matter. Like everything's accounted for. That type of stuff is really what I started to apply in my life. And guess what? My life got better, and I started feeling better, and good things started happening. That's when I go, you know what? I'm going to do this consistently now, and that's just what I'm going to do. No days off. And man, what do you know? Life started to really kind of clear up for me, and I was like, oh man, I feel good. And so I was like, I think I could help people with that. And that's when I recorded.
Yeah.
Started recording. I was actually in the hospital when I was like, I got some time. I had a torn medial calf muscle. And I go, you know what? I got some time. Let's do this. I practiced kind of speaking in front of the camera, whatever, just whatever, just trying to do what I could. And then I put it live and it went well. And so what I do now is I get guys' mojo back. Man, if guys are like kind of feeling like, man, dude, like if you look at me like, man, I could kind of like type. I'm like, let's do it. Answer that subconscious. Man, it's easy. It's so, you don't have to kill yourself in the gym. You just have to structure your day, eat pretty tight, do it consistently. Also, I work on like, hey, get guys' schedule good. I just reset their day, strip it down to studs. Simplification is what I'm all about. Not about complicating things, about simplifying.
Yeah.
Success is subtractive more often than not. And so that's what and we do Zoom calls and fitness and, just overall mind, body, soul, man. So that's what I do, man. The guys hit me up, and I have hundreds of clients, man.
Rad.
Yeah.
Where can people find all that? If they want to reach out to you, if they want to do a website.
Yeah, absolutely. So TaylorCavanaugh.com. You can get the full story, contact information there. All emails go to me. I don't outsource anything to AI or anybody. Everything goes to me. TCAV official on my Instagram. Johnny on the spot with the DMs. I always answer every single DM.
He does.
I always answer every.
That's how we talked.
Yeah, answer every DM. That's why I get the link with good cats, right? That's how we're here, man. It's social media. Be social, right?
Yeah.
Reply in the comments, man. Dude, this is all about being social. You got those guys creeping over, man. You're
private accounts.
Let's
real names.
Private accounts is leaving hate. Man, it's about social. Man, it doesn't always have to be, cheering people on, but be real. Let's talk about it. So yeah, I'm Johnny on the spot with at TCAV official, and obviously my YouTube TCAV TV. And they have all the information there also. We dive into deep principles there.
That's a good channel. I love that channel. I've been sucked in since the holidays.
Man, gym, stream of consciousness. Every single video I record is 7 to 15 minutes. Stream of consciousness. I no edits, no stop. I always do one take every time since the first time. And man, when you got heart, people read it, man. They don't want to see, man. I try to send it. I live this, and it resonates with people because of that. Also, we do the cool broed out gym sessions with guys from all over California, Huntington, got a crew here, and we just try to go to different gyms and talk about growth, talk about positive stuff, and working out, man, clanging and banging.
So important. Men need that.
And I want to start doing some range shoots and stuff too. So that's like on the deck too. So I'm glad I'm here, dude. I would love to get some cats. We got some Marine homies and some SEALs. I got some heavy hitters, bro. Would love to come out and shoot, bro.
We definitely have to organize some range days.
We have there's a 100-yard range area where we can do that, and we can do like a fitness thing, like you're saying. Get the adrenaline pumping.
Dude, it'd be perfect, man.
It's got 100 yards. There's a couple lanes, but nobody's ever up there. You can carry fucking sandbags, ammo cans, like whatever.
Man, there's shoot, move, communicate, man. If you're shooting and moving, man, that's where it gets fun for me, is when you can actually run a little bit, take a knee, take a shot. It's like that's fun, man.
I think one of the first times him and I ever shot together, it was like it wasn't like an official event, but a group of guys who were set up like a course of fire competition style thing, and it was running, shooting multiple targets, all that stuff.
But it's like run a fucking football field.
That's hard, bro.
It's so fun though.
But it was also based off you had a partner, so he was my partner, where you had to be prone and you had to shoot a rifle and you had to hit like a target, like a steel target 200 or 300 yards out.
Yeah.
So until that person fucking ding, then your ass started running.
Yeah.
So it was like,
you're like, keep missing.
A bunch of the guys just had me keep doing the shooting for him, and it was like my dad's old 308 hunting rifle, just like
driving nails,
punching me in the shoulder. Like, I'm like, all right, someone else has to shoot.
I remember on that video, like the dudes are up on the hill filming. They're like, and you just hear in the commentary, like, such a big dude moving so fast.
This guy can move, dude. It's crazy.
He got some getaway sticks.
Just all like,
got some getaway sticks, man.
But like every like running and gunning,
twinkle toes,
dude,
bro.
It's wild.
Like that doesn't make sense. Like every
Yeah.
like running and gunning drill at classes, I just fucking beat
The
everybody.
physics, he's like the physics.
They're like,
He's not.
"Shit,
He
fucking-"
defies
They're like, how does it
physics.
work? I was like, I don't know. I got these powerlifting legs.
Yeah,
and it's just
dude.
fucking power.
Yeah, you got the fast twitch
It's
muscle
fucking-
fibers, bro.
I guess.
So like after 100 yards, you're on your own. I'll just shoot you from here. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm all about the sprints, bro. It's aggressive, man. People
Yeah.
talk about the long distance running. I'm like, bro,
You're like,
running's for the enemy, bro. Running is for the enemy. We'll do sprints though, man. That's aggressive.
Yeah.
that shit's dope.
All right. You got any questions?
Yeah.
I mean, we have our final question,
Well,
but I don't know
you're
if
a
we're.
tattoo guy, but you fucked up on this question. What was your first tattoo, and what's your most meaningful tattoo?
Dude,
There
man,
we
a
go.
tattoo. I love talking about the tattoos. It's cool you guys are blending these two things. I have never seen a podcast blend this stuff together. So that's why I was stoked to get on here, man, because obviously you could tell, man, tattooing for me, man, has been important for me because, dude, when I was in the Foreign Legion and I had the vision to really complete my body. And I'm talking, I got neck, ass, all the way up to the gooch. Everything's done. And because it was like this process of, it kept me out of the bars, doing tough. Every weekend I had to be focused on it. Like it's getting tattooed full is, man, it's the story of your life, It's this process of, I hate getting tattooed, by the way. I'm not that weird guy that thinks the pain's good. I hate it.
all sucks.
So,
you're
man, my
normal.
first tattoo, man, I had a tribal band, bro, right? In last 16.
Yeah.
Right? 2001, bro, crushing it. So I had like a tribal band here. And probably the most meaningful one, I got my grandmother's name here.
Awesome.
Right. I got my grandmother's name. And then just, I got my war arm
Dude, that's funny.
and then my
Look at
paradise
that.
arm.
We have the same fucking symbol inside our hammer. Look at that.
Oh, dude, that's it, bro. See what I'm saying, bro?
Oh, that's the only one I've seen out in the wild. It's just like that too.
Yeah, dude.
Bummed I'm having it removed.
That's it, man.
It's rad.
Yeah, man. It's with the tattooing. It's you're in that whole world, so man. Tattooing is, man. It's different things for different people. For me, it's it's living deliberately,
Yeah.
right? It's that deliberate living, man. Like I don't do anything stock. Teeth, skin, man, nothing, right? Cars, man, nothing.
And it's therapy for a lot of people. One of my clients, I just did a little tattoo on him and tattooed his daughter, but I've done his chest, full sleeves on both arms. But he was in law enforcement, full career. He's just retiring now. Before that, he was in the Marines.
Damn.
And he did some like counterintelligence
Yeah.
stuff in the Marines. So dude's done a lot of stuff, and he was suffering from PTSD. And I did his very first tattoo on him like maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. Came in with a buddy and they served together, and he was having nightmares, all that
Yeah.
shit. And the day he got tattooed, they went to the bar next door after they got tattooed together and just started talking.
Yeah.
They went home, kept drinking, kept talking. I know drinking's not always the
Yeah.
healthiest thing,
Yeah.
but hey, it's where he was at.
Yeah.
But it opened up the talking, and then he just kept getting tattooed, and he's like, now he's at a place where he's like, the nightmares are completely gone.
That's amazing.
I've processed everything. Like my PTSD has gone away, and I know that's not for everyone,
Yeah.
but tattoos are definitely healing for people for different reasons.
It's deliberate, man. It's like, man, I'm gonna change something about myself. It's permanent. It's a process. It's an enjoyable process. Get to go down. I mean, there's just so much I like about it, man. It's not for everybody, but off, man. It's not for you. You know what I mean? Not everybody can be cool, man. You know what I mean?
Do you got a good hookup for gold teeth? Because I've wanted a
He was
gold
gonna
tooth.
wear-
Man, you know where I went?
Where?
Turkey.
Oh,
I
shit.
do have a great hookup there because I looked into all over the place, man. And man, it was. I don't know if people know about Turkey, but it's big on medical tourism,
Oh.
and it's where all the Russians go, all the English go for their dental work, their hair plugs, nose job. It's really really high end work and very professional, and they do full packages. So all I had to do was show them my plane ticket. They took care of the luxury hotel, the translators,
That's
the
super.
rides, the meals, all that stuff was incorporated. They picked me up from the hotel, take me to my stuff, all that. It was right by the beach in Antalya, Turkey.
Is yours permanent?
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's
man,
what I wanted.
yeah.
I have like a cap that I had custom made.
Yeah,
It's
man.
not the same.
We don't do nothing
Nah.
not permanent around here, dude.
Nah.
Yeah, full permanent. I got
Yeah.
gold crowns, man. And I am so happy with it.
Cool.
Because I was getting chipped on my composite. It started like this. I was getting chips. Got hit with a gun. So probably like a butt, and then it just in the military, dude, they're filling it with composite. It's popping out. It's popping out. I did probably covered it up probably like 7 or 8 times. And it was like
Here's
chipped.
some Motrin.
I said, you know what? I went to the dentist. I said, okay, man, can we make this like reinforced? He's like, yeah, we can do metal, I guess. I was like, can you do gold? He's like, are you sure? I'm like, damn. He's like, you got the
Okay.
money, I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife, when we first started dating, getting married and stuff, I was apprenticing, And I was like, hey, when I become a tattoo artist, I want a gold tooth. And it was like, we actually did like premarital counseling with our pastor, and
your pastor's like,
it was the only source of conflict. Like we didn't argue about stuff.
So funny.
And she was like adamant, like, I don't want you looking like Marv from Home Alone. I was like, that's exactly what I want to look like. So she actually surprised me, and in our vows and our wedding, she was like, and like, I want you to get the gold tooth.
Well, that's awesome.
We had kids and stuff, and it's like
Yeah.
I've never but it's still to this day I wanted.
Man, dude, it was in my mind since I was a child, man. Since I was a kid, I wanted metal teeth on my bottom row, and it was like I always knew I wanted to do it, but I had gold teeth in the SEAL teams. This top one, I had a gold tooth, white gold, and so I had always kind of been messing with my mouth with the gold and stuff. I always liked it, and then I just kind of went full tilt on the bottom. I was like, I'm in the Foreign Legion, bro. I might as well just embrace this thing, dude.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty rad. We have like a final question.
Yeah.
And it's a big one.
What's
and
up?
Everybody's question is usually about the same, but it has to do with the country, the United States.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest threat to America is right now?
Lack of ownership.
Oh,
Lack of ownership, man. It's the stemming problem, which stems from guys not taking ownership, and they go, "Oh, it's a decline in masculinity." Well, it's just lack of ownership, because what that is not recognizing, taking responsibility, understanding, hey, you have a role as a man to protect and provide, and guess what? You got to level up for that shit, right? So it's lack of ownership there. Women, lack of ownership, something else. Everyone's, and so I try to push that is. Politicians not taking ownership for poor decisions, business people, it's all this over here, over there, it's that over there. Man, when you point the finger, you always got three pointing back at you, right? And so I always have to remind myself of that anytime it's hypocritical, a lot of what people do, man. Look at yourself. What is Jordan Peterson says that, good people trying to rearrange the world and their house is not in order.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a great way, man. Take ownership of your life, yourself, get centered. Once you're absolutely 100, then start looking up and out. But until that point, man, lock it on, right? Take ownership of your life. If you're in a position, and this is kind of what I say to guys and coaches, man, if you're in a bad position, change it, right? You're not a tree, right? If you're not in a position you want, move. Start taking ownership of where you're at. It's not your wife's fault. It's not your kid's fault. It's your fault. I got you. No. Everything boils down to and gets a lot more simple when you just go, oh, it's all my fault. And then that empowers you, because then you can change it.
It's hard to do, but it's so necessary. I think people's subconscious is really good at having defense mechanisms.
Yeah.
And when they are confronted with the possibility that they need to change something or do something wrong, I've been noticing recently, people turn into the victim. They immediately go like, it's like I could fuck up, do something wrong, and then instead of like my brain wanting to even address or acknowledge that, it just goes like, yeah, but he did this to me, and I'm the victim in this other situation.
Always,
yeah,
and I do. It takes a deliberate act and training, man, dude, all the time, bro. I have to remind myself. I'm like, I was like, well, let's read kind of a why. Oh, yeah, probably me, right?
Yeah, so much. I have two little kids. Go out to dinner. Whatever, like I lose patience.
Yeah.
And then I have to just kind of like check myself. It just happened the other night. My son is 2. He's wild. We had him in the booth. It's those little like hot dog trays, with French fries in it. This kid stands up and power slams his fist, and literally French fries explode in the sky everywhere. And this is already after like a long list of shit that happened. And I got frustrated, like internally. I didn't yell at him, but I was like, I just had to like laugh, like, bro. So there's French fries on the ground.
Yeah, that's a pretty good catch, though, right? That's a good catch. That's a win.
Yeah.
You just have to prepare, bro. Every time I take my kids out, I just like mentally prepare, like, all right, we're tipping big because I know we're leaving a mess.
Because it's easy to lose in that moment. It's easy to lose that the big picture sight. Like you said, taking ownership of your role in this, and just snap and react and stuff. But then you have to sit there and like think, what's the long term effects of that?
Yeah.
Now everyone's bummed at dinner because dad's mad.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to be that guy.
Being mad dad, it's rough, man. That took me a long time to learn, because like we come from a generation of like getting
mad
fucking
dads.
yelled at.
Yeah, mad dads. Yeah,
I was trying to break that, but like ride that fine line of like not being mad dad to like, hey, world's tough, kid. You gotta kind of, shit's wild. But I fight with that every day. Like I just blew up on a dude at work on Tuesday, You know, I've been trying to keep my cool, but it's like, dude, I'd want to fuck kill people sometimes.
Yeah, I get it.
I feel bad for that dude. I was like, dude, I was like,
You should apologize to him right now.
No.
sorry, you know you are, buddy.
Yeah,
but,
send that
you
good
were acting
karma
like
out,
a
coming
bitch,
back to you,
and
man.
you
Hey, man,
know,
if you want to be loved, send out love.
you know,
You know what I mean?
dude, I fucking, oof. I feel bad for that one, but you know, sometimes they have it coming. But anger's a big thing. Try to
Bro, I have a YouTube video coming out tomorrow on anger.
about that.
Yeah, about anger because I had I call it breaking character. Just
Oh,
yesterday, I
broke it
kind of
hard.
like lashed out, and I go, man, dude, I'm pretty good at controlling and setting myself up for success by
Yeah.
doing the right things. But man, I get so mad at myself now karmically when I break character with anger, and I go, man, dude, I don't like. So I have a full thing because I know a lot of
Yeah.
men deal with it. And man, what a destructive emotion! Probably the most destructive for men in general is anger, bro. Relationships, jobs. And then criminal record, like it's all really boils down to anger, and you know, I try to find the root of that.
So true.
And I work for the government, and there's a lot of fucking stupid people there.
Yeah. Well, and you know, and it's frustrating, and it's don't let predictable things surprise you, right?
Yeah.
That's so that helps.
no.
Expectation management
Dude, like,
helps.
world could be burning at work, and I'm like, yeah, I called that. It's cool, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they're like, what happened to you, bro? You used to be so mad all the time. I was like, I don't really
Is
care.
my cot on fire? All right, we're good.
We good?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Good? Is the ship's getting out on time? Yeah, don't stress it. We'll get it.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. Anger for me.
Anger's a big one.
Plus, like, now being out in the open, because for a while, like, on social media, like, I was, like, blurred face. I had a fucking CO that had a hard on for me. Like, what do you fucking do? Are these fucking guns compliant in this state? I was like, bro. So
Yeah,
I
like,
like, blur
yes,
my
they are.
face
Yeah.
and just kind of like,
Oh, man.
but yes, but like, as soon as that fucking shit, like, unblurred, and they're like, who is fucking this guy? And then we have the podcast and we're just talking. And dude, it was like a whole new
I
thing,
bet.
like just being out in the open and like,
It's a big step.
luckily that CO fucked off to somewhere else.
Yeah.
So the new one's cool. So shout out to you.
Is there any parting advice, you know, little free tidbit for folks, the men out there, especially anything you'd want to like, you know, pass off?
Yeah, man. Focus on getting better.
Cool.
Simplify, right? To remember that, keep that perspective, maintain that frame, right? Enjoy the people in your life and let things cool down if you're getting heated up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Walk away.
Awesome. I think that's
That's a good one.
that's gonna
That's good.
wrap
Yeah, I
it.
appreciate it, man. This has
One
been
last time, where can people find you? Any shout outs and plugs and any of that stuff?
TaylorCavanaugh.com. Scope it out. Contact information. IG, Instagram, TCAV official. Johnny on the spot with the DMs once again. And my YouTube, TCAV TV, where we dive into the deeper principles and do some gym footage and lifestyle stuff. It's fun.
Awesome.
Go subscribe. Set your alerts on like I do. I love fucking. I was like, oh, sweet.
I try to keep it fun and interesting, right?
It's a rad channel.
Rad.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for opening up season 2 for
Man,
us.
dude, I love that.
Yeah.
Season 2, man.
Yeah.
Button
Two
up,
opener.
man.
Episode 1.
Dig that.
Make sure we're learning. We only did this on the last episode of season 1, but we're gonna do it every episode now.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that shit.
Yeah.
Go to RKB Tactical on Instagram, Alex Coulter Tattoo on Instagram.
Come shoot with us.
Come shoot with us. We're gonna.
That's what's up.
We got some stuff happening this year.
Yeah.
Man, tats and gats, yo.
There we go.
Thanks.